Honestly, I don't understand why it's not focused or emphasized on so much. If you watch my last video that I uploaded on my SMMA and my progress so far, it's kind of like somehow blown up. After I uploaded the video, I was thinking about a thing that I didn't mention, and it's kind of the one thing that led to getting such amount of clients in such a short time. And that's because I was able to understand this one element, and it's not talked much, but there is one YouTuber, actually two YouTubers, and I can put their names. There's Thomas and Charlie Morgan, who I've been watching for a while. These two emphasize on this one factor so much, and that focus is service delivery. One of the most unspoken thing when it comes to SMMA, because the whole point of SMMA is you're providing a service to your client, because you're promising them on an offer, whatever it is, like 14 leads in 30 days, or money back guarantees, and you're offering these so many things to these so many promises to your clients. And because your offer is good, let's say your offer is good, which is why the client trusts you and believes in your service and takes you on, and then when they actually try out your service, just 2 or 1 month in, they leave. And that's because your service delivery is crap. Because anyone can start an SMMA business, right? It's one of the most easiest concepts to understand. Like, you can get started tomorrow, because it's literally the one thing everyone preaches is, find a niche, build your offer, and then just hire a media buyer, which is so wrong. You don't just hire a media buyer, because there's so many so there's obviously media buyers, and when it comes to media buyers, you can find them on so many websites. So you can find them on there's obviously Fiverr, which I don't recommend at all. There's Upwork, which I'd say if you are going to look for one, go for Upwork. And then there's the last one, which is Freelancer, which is another website. And then there's an online .ph is a Philippines website, and basically everyone just praises that you just all you need to do is focus on getting the clients, and then just completely just give all the work to your media buyer, who'll take care of the rest, and you just take whatever's in the middle. So if you're charging 500 and your media buyer is only asking you 300, well, your profit is 200. Now, they're really small numbers, but I'm just using it for reference. But this is one of the most stupid things, because when it comes to running an SMMA business, it's not just about getting a client. It's stacking clients. Let's say you have like 3 clients. Let's say it's not just about stacking clients and then charging each of them 500 to 1K a month. 500 to 1K a month. The whole point is the whole point of running a real SMMA business. Okay, so I somehow managed to delete the entire thing because I'm still getting used to this. But the whole point of running an SMMA business is making sure your service delivery is on point. Because one of the biggest things that you'll understand when you finally get your first client is not and finally process. Let's say you mastered your outreach. You found a channel that works, right? It works, and let's say whatever it is, if it's Insta, Facebook, whatever it is, you found a channel that works for you, and then your sales calls. You've managed to have like a 25 to 30% close rate. Now that's on the low end. If your offer is good, that should be much higher. But let's say and you onboarded your first client. You need to make sure is that client has one of the best experiences that he has ever had within your agency. And the only way for him to have that such of a good service delivery is making sure you have systems and automations, or whatever it is that requires for your service, whatever you're promising, you have systems and automations in place so that they have one of the flawless experiences, and you deliver on their promises. And going back to with my business, that's the one thing that I was able to guarantee. I had systems in place, not right at the beginning. When I was starting, there wasn't systems, but my core offer, which I offered, so in the case was, that wasn't my core offer. My core offer was I think it was a 2-week trial, And basically, in that 2 weeks trial, they can expect 10 to 15 leads. And what I used was Google Ads, but I never sold Google Ads. I sold this. I sold the offer. You never, like, even in my presentations, like, I on the sell, like, when I was outreaching, I never said I'll run your Facebook ads, I'll run your Google ads. I never said that. I always emphasized on this offer, the 2 week trial, 10 to 15 leads guaranteed. And if they're not happy after 10 to 15 days, they can completely leave, and they're happy to do so. They can keep all the customers that we've generated them. This is really, like, simplified. This offer was a little bit more sophisticated than this. When it came to service delivery, before even running my agency, what I did was so the thing I offer is Google Ads. What I did is, prior to building my agency, which I started 4 months ago, just a year before, what I did is I took courses. Just learning Google Ads inside and out. I didn't go through the traditional route of hiring a media buyer, because you'll realize that hiring a media buyer itself is such a hard and intensive process. Like, if you're going into the junk removal niche, the dentist niche, there are tons and tons of media buyers that you can find on all these different, outsourcing platforms. But you want a media buyer who's been in the trenches, been in that field, knows the certain keywords, the lingo around that term, because every industry has a certain type and angle that just works for that industry. And if you just get a general media buyer who you can, get for like 300 to 400 a month, well, I can guarantee you that when you onboard your first client, your lifetime value will be 1 to 3 months, if that. If you have a media buyer who's specialized, let's say in the dentistry niche, if that's what you're going for, your lifetime value will probably be 6 months to 12 months, and that's with systems and automations in place. Which, now, I'm not able to preach on, making sure, I'm not able to say that all my clients have been with me for 6 to 12 months, but every single client, out of the clients, so I've got 13 right now. So far, every one of them has at least stayed on with me for 3 months. And I have not yet outsourced everyone preaches like outsourcing the work, but I'm actually still running the Google Ads for them, and I've actually managed to streamline the process so much that even though I have 13 clients, it takes me roughly an hour a day to make sure, check up on these clients, check up their AdWords, the Google Ads account, because I'm focusing on that. And I do have a virtual assistant just on the communication side, who just works on, following up just with the clients, making sure if the leads, if they close the leads, and just updating it into the high level. And that's what I mean by, running automations, having automations. So the automation would be the virtual assistant, the VA, and systems, which is Go High Level. So Go High Level is something that I use to pretty much manage. It's essentially a CRM for my clients. It's a CRM for my clients, so they can manage all the leads coming in, and they can effectively see all the amount of money that they're making on a weekly basis, and a monthly basis, and it's also got SMS automations. So when I'm bundling all these automations and all these Google Ads service along with all these automations and CRMs for a client, it's literally I've got it to a point where the service delivery is so on point. The client literally would stay on with me for at least 3 months. That's why when I'm in these sales calls, I don't even get them. Like, when I was getting my first couple of clients, like, everyone says, Stein, you should charge 1 to 2K a month, and also get them onto a 3-month contract, which I get it. I get the 3-month contract, minimum contract, when to get the cash flow within your business, but it still doesn't make sense for me when you're starting out. You have no testimonials, no experience of even if this would work for the client. Because put yourself in their shoes. They're going to invest in someone who they've never seen before, who they've just seen for an hour in a 1 hour call, and they want you to invest in a $1,000 to $2,000 a month offer for their business, which they're not completely sure of, and you want them to go into a 3-month minimum contract. Now, when you're at a level like, Charlie Morgan, or it's Thomas, or there's another one that he's Jason Wojo, I think it's Wojo. Yeah, I'll just call him Wojo. When you're at his level, when you're making million, I think Wojo and Charlie Morgan's in reaching 1 to 3 million a year. When you're at his level, then yes, the 3-month, 6-month contracts make sense. But when you're starting out, charging 1 to 2,000s and saying minimums, you're just increasing the resistance for the client, because most likely they'll never on board with you because they're not sure of your service delivery. And even in the presentations, if you're able to show how you're different, how you're specialized in that particular niche, with your service delivery, the client themselves can sense, okay, this is something that they might give a shot. This is how I started. When it came to service delivery, I had my dad's company, but basically they're like heating systems which are installed in homes, and these are range between 1 to 3K actually, with potentials upsells to lead into 4K per deal. And essentially what I did is I took a course learning Google Ads, because I knew Google Ads was the thing what will get me the highly best leads possible. So prior to starting my SMMA, I tested, I got a course. I watched tons of YouTube videos, and I put my own money in to build this new boiler installations company that my dad was running. And basically I learned, I trialed and tested, and basically I set up automations and systems and learned Google Ads to a point. Now he's got, I'll put a screenshot, in just a month he's got like 30 leads, like alone, 30 leads, and he's closing between, and per lead, like I said, it goes back to the 1 to 3K. Now that's revenue, so his profit, I don't know too much. He's probably profiting 1 to 5K per deal. And obviously not all deals are like, let's say he closes like 80% of the deal. He's pretty good closer, and he's pretty good at upsells. So I was able to prove my service delivery through, so like I was putting my own money in. I even told my dad, like, you don't have to spend the money on ads, I will do it, because I took that risk. Eventually I decided to run ads for these clients for my agency. I knew all everything I needed to do with running Google Ads, running automations. I knew everything I needed to do to give that service delivery it's so good that I could literally offer that 2-week trial. I set no contracts, and I even offered 30-day money back guarantees, because when your service delivery is so good, when your service delivery is that good, you're able to offer such guarantees, because you're so confident that they'll stay on. And any local business, because I'm so sure, like even when before even I had the systems, I was offering like one of my offers was 30 leads in 30 days, right? And it was a guarantee. And even without the automations, because I knew Google Ads, I myself knew Google Ads so well, I was able to hit this target. Because I was so sure of my skills. And when you're so sure of your skills, when it comes to running delivering back on the service, when it comes to actual delivering service, you're not panicking on the sales calls. After you finish and close the deal, you're not panicking of making sure, will they stay on, will they not, because you have so much confidence in your service and what you do for them. You don't use SMMA as a quick get rich quick scheme. Right? Don't use SMMA as a get rich quick scheme. Like, actually build a profitable business. Now I'm like using little acronyms, but it's because I can't be bothered to write. But build a profitable business, and that means putting customer satisfaction first. It should be your priority over. This should be over your priority, much over profits, especially at the beginning. Because I'd rather get custom testimonials and reviews of my service of my service delivery and how it was with the communications, their experience with me, rather than focusing so much on the profit, especially when you're in your first year of running such a SMMA business. Like I didn't care if I was at the end I was like profiting 100 a month. Now I wasn't. I was profiting much more than that, but like even if I did like profit 100 at the end of the month, and because I was investing into making that service delivery better, like go high level, I don't have the agency one, but I'm spending like 300, and then to the SMS automations, which I'm spending like another 50 a month, and then I got other systems like Zapier to connect between, because I create landing pages because I don't I don't trust the client websites, because they usually go so crap. So I build out landing pages, so I spend like 100 I spend 100 just on the landing pages and all these systems. So it's costing me about probably like 400 to 500 just a month, just to for the service delivery part. Now that might be a lot for a lot of guys, and service delivery, and now that's not including the actual Google Ads. And because I'm still running the Google Ads, that's an expense I've not outsourced yet, because honestly, it's like I said, I've streamlined it so much that I'm only spending an hour. But if I wanted to outsource that, because I've gone, if I wanted to outsource the Google Ads thing, because I've done it myself, so I can literally create SOPs. And let's say SOPs, and then if I want to start subcontracting it, I can just give this SOP, and they just need to follow this, and then obviously you'll have contractors that are better than you in what you do, so they can do on top of what's already working. And then another thing is, if you know what you're doing or have an idea of what you're doing, let's say if everything fails, like it's a business, something's bound to fail, right? Let's say your contractor suddenly is not there for your sales calls, and he's the only one who knows about the service and Facebook ads or Google ads. You can take over him. Like you can continue discussing in the sales calls without the subcontractor. You're not relying on people. You don't want to rely on someone, right? So if my contractor doesn't come on my sales calls, I'm fine, because I know the Google Ads process. I know the entire dashboard. I can literally close my eyes and say it, because I did it myself. And if anything, let's say you have 10 clients with your contractor, and suddenly your contractor let's say they die, which is a bit extreme, but let's say they die. What happens to these 10 clients who they were managing the ads for? What happens then? It's if that was a specialized contractor in your niche, then you're kind of like, what are you going to do at that point? Because so you'll need a buffer time. Let's say that is a bit extreme, but let's say they're not there. So you'll need this buffer time to find a new contractor. But in that buffer time, if you knew how to run the Google ads or Facebook ads, you can still manage those clients, because you can just take over. That's why you should never rely on someone like a contractor running your business, because you should be in the trenches. You should know, like, if everything fails tomorrow, you should be able to take over. So that's why I at least recommend you, actually, whatever the service is, if you're offering TikTok, Facebook, Google, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever it is, you kind of understand what it is, like what you need to do to actually bring the minimum results for you by yourself. Please focus on this. Because if you focus on service delivery, once you get that one client can lead you to another 2 to 3 referrals. Them 2 to 3 referrals can lead to another 2 to 3 referrals. Your business will literally grow organically, which is what happened to me. Like my first 5 clients, if you watch my last video, I got it organically, and then I got 3 referrals, and I'm not spending money to get new clients, and they're still with me, because I've more than focusing on profits, I was more focused on making sure that they're happy. So like at the end of the month, like some of my clients, I'm not like usually you put subscriptions, you get the clients onto subscriptions. Some of my clients, I've not even put them onto subscriptions. Now they could, potentially, I'm saying this, like I probably jinx myself, and someone might not pay, but I'm not putting them on subscriptions yet. They're still paying me, 2 to 3 days earlier before the actual subscription date. I just send an invoice, just as a reminder, like, next week is your payment due, and they pay me 2 to 3 days. And why? Because they're so happy with my service. They don't have to think twice, because if they know that if they now leave me, it's just impacting their business, because 60 to 70% of their leads coming into their business is from my channel. And that's completely because I was able to focus so much time on my service delivery, like so much. I emphasize so much on my service delivery, so much that it just works, and it works for them. It works for every client that comes onto mine. So I kind of feel, even like after sales calls and they don't take me on my offer, I kind of feel bad for them, because I know that I could genuinely improve their business. Focus on your service delivery first. Find contractors, if that's the route that you want to go to. Find contractors who are specialized in your particular field, and use them and find them. And when you get that client, make sure you can do everything that you can to hold them with you, because there's no point getting a client and then just them leaving after a month. You kind of want that 6 to 12 month retention, which is hard. It's really hard. But you want them at least 6 months before that. Lifetime value. Focus on lifetime value. It's a big thing, because even if you're spending, let's say you're spending money on ads. Actually, that's something I'll come into end of the video. This video is too long enough, but yeah. Lifetime value, focus on that. Hope this video helps you guys. Leave some comments in the description down below. And join the Facebook group.